What's up, my friends? If you can hear crickets in the background, it's for my son's gecko, and they shouldn't really be in the front room, really. They're not. Imagine if you spilt the crickets. It has happened to my. I don't know. I wasn't going to talk rubbish when it came on, and then they just started doing that, and then yeah. But yeah, hi guys. Yeah. I've just thrown myself off because I was actually just going to go live. Because I think you can go live after you've got 50 subscribers. And I actually want to say like a genuine thank you to anyone that is subscribing to me. And don't you leave me now. Don't leave me now. Because I'm just starting to prove to some people in my family. Well, I'm not actually proving anything to anyone at the moment. Well, that's another thing. You've got to stop proving. This is what this video is going to be about, is stop wanting to prove anything to anyone but yourself. And whatever stage you are in life, let alone the spiritual awakening, because surely we're all going through a spiritual awakening and changes, no matter where you are, there are always going to be people in your way. I've just totally lost what I'm saying again. So I'm going to have to start scripting myself for sure, because it's like, yeah. But you're going to have to stop trying to, yeah, that's it, because you're not going to convince anyone until you believe in yourself, because there are going to be people that you love most dearest that are, sometimes it's going to be fluffy jokes putting you down, but sometimes they're going to really seriously put you down. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know, they say, oh, you should get away from everybody that's in your life. It just means that you're there as an example for them, okay? Because I don't know if you've been in the situation I've been in, but was put in a position at one point where I had to basically like seem to manifest being like not awful to all my family, but like I just seemed insane to everybody. It was just how I manifested it, to make everybody like not like me, or not insane, just I was just bad vibe. And I used to think that there was just no end for me, because I just used to think whenever I was in a room with a family member that I loved and things, that I'd make them feel nervous. It was just something I was carrying my energy. I've said it before in past videos. I've been sweaty, murmury, twitchy, not being able to like form sentences or even ask people how they are, because I've been so like up my own, like whatever you want to call it, not sleeping well, hearing voices, feeling like I'm following intuition, spiritual awakening symptoms that will go on to a degree in everyone's life, depending on what stage you're at. But I feel like you have to make a decision at one point that you're either going to stay in their zone, the zone of your family, just the zone you're born in, and the zone that pretty much everybody was in before in the 90s, and that, you know, just this zone of like emo, just, you know, that zone, I don't know. And then the zone of, you know, like all the zones that everyone's in, right? You're either going to have to start being false to yourself and fitting in with these people, or you're going to have to embarrass yourself to a level, okay? And there is no like taking them with you immediately. You'll manifest different situations depending on your own circumstances, but you're bound to either quickly push people away, or slowly, or make a decision to not, right? And that's going to be not good for you or the earth, to be honest with you, mate, because if we all hid in our fear and hid behind the coat that people want us to, the safe coat, the coat that kept people safe in the past, whatever, you know, past, if you're going to keep in that coat, you're going to, what's the point in your life? You know, if you're watching this, then you're probably feeling like you are coming away from the system, whatever, of like what, you know, right? Okay, so you're going to embarrass yourself, then it's up to you how quickly you embarrass yourself, right? So you can just hide the door, tell everybody that no, I don't want to see you anymore, and just run away, which I have done in some friendships and stuff that are smaller, and, you know, no harm to people that I've let go in my life, just people that I didn't need to. Because you've got to remember as well that everybody's dealing with the same situation here, that there are so many people you can spend your life and time with, that you shouldn't feel like you have to give everything to everybody just to prove that you love them, or that what you've done in your lives together was important, you know. I think And if you're surrounded by people like that, then that needs to change for you. And I've even been in situations that when you start to change and stand up for the rights of your heart and how you want to be, it actually gives people sometimes an immediate response to like, oh, grossed out by you. But then they start to maybe follow as well, because you make a brave statement of standing somewhere that isn't exactly fashionably sane even, okay? And then you might have to go through a few tests. Like it might take a few years of almost proving yourself, not on purpose. You don't ever prove yourself on purpose to people, but once you settle into the proof of yourself and then it will shine out of you eventually, and people go, no, I was wrong, okay? Because you're going to put yourself in a position where people are going to go, no, they are definitely this, they are definitely that, and it might even get almost dangerous, you know. And then time goes on, and you will prove to them that they need to follow your footsteps, okay? And there is nothing against the people in your life that are just trying to hold old paradigms together, and you have the job to hopefully get the universe to give you as much synchronicity as you need until you are fully proved to yourself. All right, you know, whatever that's going to need. Stay up for a few days and stay in a black room and hear your mind, but get some contact. They're not going to contact you daily. They're not going, you know, the infiniteness is not going to be there for you daily, right? It's going to get you, hopefully, the more you dig, the more you stand up, it's going to give you enough to just know. And then you're going to go for a stage where you want everybody else to know, okay? And there is one very important reason why nobody is going to listen to you, because they are on their own soul journey, and you can actually jeopardize their journey by trying to get them at places and tell them things in their face that they're not ready to hear, because they need to hear. A human being needs to work these things out in their own way. And sometimes you actually that's why you get the resistance, because they've got they're not maybe at the same level as you as understanding this or whatever they're at. And to get them back on their track, they'll literally give you a load of resistance to get back on their own track, basically, because you've nearly cheated them out. It's not, these human beings have to find these things out for yourself. I've been there before, giving people fact, like really being able to prove to them that I've had experiences and synchronicities and talked to angels, and, you know, I've given them so much evidence before, and they just cannot receive it, okay? It's like they're blocked. It's like they're not going to receive it, and they're not going to receive it because if they need to receive it another way. And you will have to learn to not push and flow, and that's the law of attraction as well, because you're going to push and then you're going to feel so bloody annoyed that you're going to have to stand alone, and you're going to have to learn patience. Again, it's bloody patience, and it's time, and it's also not focus it. You cannot focus everything. You have to build your life. It's the balance, man. It really is. But you will find that you will put yourself in a place where you'll either give yourself a resting space. You might hide, but you can't. Well, you can just keep mucking along, but you will probably manifest something more awful that you don't want to manifest to be able to detach yourself from your family, okay? So if it's what you need to do is to be more separate and not. Examples of this are just like, you don't have to, I don't push anything into people's faces. It's just like a few people around you, you know. But also with the friendships, you don't have to go and give people your whole heart. You can just sort of fluffily, you don't have to say, oh, this is my view, this is my view, this is how I feel, and that's why I'm not speaking. You can. That would be really brave, but you can just sort of slip into the background, you know, and just not put all your focus. At one point I felt so guilty for not like putting a lot of energy into past people. you know, when all my friends on Facebook from school turned 30 and I didn't wish them happy birthday, and I've ignored happy birthday messages myself, and because I just didn't want to put my energy there, and that's okay. It's not, doesn't mean I'm evil. It doesn't mean that I don't care. It doesn't mean that if I seen them, I wouldn't, you know, but you've got to just stand in your own light, you know. And I will be honest, now, I could have spoke about lots of different things today. I've just come back from holiday and that, and it's quite cool actually. The main person that got me starting this, well, one of my actual, you'll find friends online, guys, as well. My first friend online, when I really fully went bloody crazy and woke up and could see everything happening, like, and nobody else, no one was there to hear me. Maybe even my granddad, but I found friends online, as in not friends that are answering me. Victor Otto was my first. People that have gone through the same things you're going through, you'll find them online. You'll find them easier than I found them 10 years ago, because I think we're everywhere now, you know. And just know that you might not, your situation will be set up to give you the best jump to get up and get strong. You'll be put in a situation where you are lonely, whatever you say, you will be put into a situation where you can self-grow, and you're going to have to learn to be there for yourself, and then you won't have to deal with all of the health issues that you've got when you're trying to meet up with people. And thankfully now I'm in a stable place with everybody in my life where there is enough line of truth running through me. I don't sell all of my information to all of my family so that I'm judged like crazy, because that'd be silly as well in your own aura. But I'm just starting to not want to change Danny, okay? And that is what you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to listen to your heart, and it's going to be that you're going to know which decisions. And if you're lucky like me, your heart will probably, you'll have a whitey and you'll have to not do it. I've had like moments where I can't do it. I've quit jobs before where I've just been so rudely like, I can't do it. And but I've also been able to prove to most people around me that I have abundance. I am successful, okay? And I also have now finally reaching a stage where I do not give a toss in a nice way about anything, really. It takes you bloody ages to get there, and I grip onto it, and I almost feel like, as I say it, it's going to slip out of me. But I tell you, right, you'll get an anchor into the fear one time. And I've said it before that my heart doesn't beat anymore. And I sometimes wonder if that's a worry, but like, you'll get to a point where it's like it's the adrenaline kicking in. And I think we're getting to such a point at the moment where the fear is not going to fucking work anymore, and you can't bring it forward, and you have to get rid of it. I suppose it's like if you're about to get murdered, you know, you're going to fight or flight mode, right? Fight or flight mode is finally here. And yeah, get used to it basically, because, you know, and I think more and more people are going to, and just stand up for yourself and watch everybody else around you sort of start to do it too. Like the old, they held on to a lot of old beliefs. Like, of course they're going to, you know, they brought up so differently than the generations, you know, but stand in your ground and see if they even change their opinions a bit, because they're not too late. And yeah, just know that you never stop climbing it as well. Like, because I'm on this YouTube now, you know, I've got people around me that would say, but it's that I'm stupid, you know, obviously, to even try. That's why I'm trying not to put too much energy into it. I don't want to be scripting things until like maybe if I'm really being useful, which I do want to be useful on YouTube, so unuseful then, but I want to be of use. I've said to people, you know, I feel like we like workers. I'm not going to be embarrassed for saying things that I believe in. We need to stand up for how we've carved the consciousness, you know, and know that when you are carving consciousness yourself, you're going to have to leave other things behind, or you're going to have to get people to bitch about you, man. And this could be one of your biggest fears. At one point, I went from being such a cool young person to I just wanted no one to judge me, like no reason whatsoever. I just wanted to not be seen, and I was so scared. It's just irrational, you know. And you can be you, you know. And the times are changing fast, and just be brave, and it's gonna pay off for you if you be brave. All right, you don't have to be brave every day. Just little baby steps towards listening to your higher self, basically. And then that's going to help let a lot of stuff, good positive vibes into the planet, isn't it? So just keep strong, guys. Keep owning your own, and try not to put too much personal hate on each fallout and stuff with your family, if it's many or not. I'm struggling with quite a lot of like insecurity and jealousy and this person is moving forward slowly. So give people chances to grow, because it can take a damn long time. You don't have to leave your loved ones behind. You can be patient and strong. It's going to take a lot of strength, and it's going to take a lot of patience, but you don't have to. Not everybody. Think about what gifts people have given you around you, and how this person that I'm talking about has given me everything, every confidence. The aura of this person is amazing, and this person has been through a lot in their life, and they've had no father. I think is the biggest impact, and they don't even know who their granddads are on both sides of their family, and this person has a kind heart, a very kind heart. This person can like fib and stuff a little bit, but they are kind, okay? They are like, and they carry energy that upgrades people all the time. And they have fear and they have jealousy, but they also, you know when someone deeply believes you, whether they surfacely, that's what I'm trying to get to. This is what I'm trying to get to, right? Your loved ones can say on the surface, I don't believe you, I don't believe, but if you can know on a soul level that they do, but they just have, they're saying this, right? That one, because they're probably triggering you, they're strengthening you. You know, no one should put up with serious amounts of abuse, but do realise that sometimes when you're being trodden on, it is strengthening you up, and you will know on each tiny level each day to keep going with someone and not to, you know. And when I say dropping people, I don't mean like completely dropping people out of your life. You just might not like, they might even just be your like sister, you know. It's as hard as it might be your sister, right? And they've got lots of people in their life, and just be there for people when they need you. But don't feel like just because you haven't seen everybody every 6 months, and they're not like, you know, they're not seeing my children, or they're not, but how much time in life is there to just fully like love everybody, love every niece, love every, you know, of course you know what I mean? Just don't drain yourself to a level where you're not innerly building up. As long as you're going around innerly telling all your loved ones that you love them, I'm sure somewhere down the line, somewhere, they're picking that up constantly, okay? So don't feel guilty if you're one of those people that doesn't get back to people properly, you know. And yeah, like once I was really, really rude to someone who's very close to me, and I look up to them so much, but I was so rude to a level that we didn't really speak to each other for a long time, but I needed to do it. I needed to get to this stage of rudeness with this certain person to be able to, for us both to hold respect for each other and our space. And this person see me at my worst, at my messiest, at my most arrogant. And but we have worked together, me and this person. This is another person. See, it's all these to a point now where we have so much respect for each other, okay? We love each other so much. And this is another person. They're not another relationship. But just know that sometimes you might see in the moment that a relationship is breaking down, but it's breaking down And sometimes to become something much, much stronger than weekly communication after, yeah? We're all quantum masters. Every single time, every single time you think, every single split second, you are making one decision out of an infinity of decisions, okay? Like if I really wanted to right now, I could sling my own neck. You know, that was a bit of a weird example, but like, you know, that's why I don't trust my mind. Or I could, you know, or I could run around the street naked for really, you know, I mean, every single decision. Don't go that far, guys, because that still is known as very crazy, okay? It's known to be rude to people, but just know that like every single split second, you are making a decision, all right? And you're making a decision how to, look, I had a board here. I should have written something on it, decisions. But just, I'm going to put one more note in. Remember, don't be an ant. Remember to carry, what energy do you, it's easier for animals. They just sort of flow with what they know. Human beings have to choose, right? Do you want to be an ant or do you want to be a lion? All right. Lions, they eat and then they fucking sleep and they chill and they shit, right? Because another thing, also do remember that as much as it's lovely when human beings set up cities and it's all beautiful, and I'm going to Glastonbury Festival, which is one of the most stimulatingest places, and I will be there like pumping it off in the loudest place I can find until I literally nearly fall over, right? But remember that also on the same you know, on the opposite swap, God gives you the most, the best in the world, right? The views. Try and tell me that you would look at a puppy and not feel happy, or anything natural that God makes, you know, like the ocean, everything that God makes is just as bloody good as going and looking at a city, right, guys, you know? So remember as well that one of your most important jobs as a human being, as well as obviously the option to be creative and the option to do whatever, is to actually just eat and poo. Because every time you like that, this is just awful, isn't it now? But you know what I'm getting at right here, because and then eventually die. Oh, this is just going too far, isn't it? But every time you're walking around, you're spreading skin and you're helping the environment and helping, you know, monkeys going through, which is what I'm getting at, right? Monkeys going through a jungle, they eat the food and then they drop the seeds, yeah? And then something grows. This is what I'm trying to go at, yeah? So you're supposed to just sort of eat and drop seeds to a degree, and then probably instinctively look after animals and plants and the world around you. And just remember the line between natural and unnatural. Everything on planet Earth is natural because it was made from things on planet Earth. So don't get too freaked out about AI, and don't get too freaked out about, you know, everything, right? Because it's all part of nature. And, you know, my feelings on the AI is positive, okay? Yeah, so just hold steady, guys. Take a pinch of how you feel at Christmas and your birthday and on holiday, and try and wear it every goddamn day. And if you've got a voice in your head or a family member telling you that you can't, tell them that that's where they've gone wrong, okay? And stand your ground. Be stubborn. Don't be put in a box. Keep breaking boxes. Keep knowing and trusting. Oh my God, I'm going to actually burp. That's actually disgusting. Right, okay, right. But a couple of subjects there, but also just stand steady and realise that if you're feeling fear, it's because of you are strengthening yourself, and you will definitely get to a point where you just feel like a badass, okay? Remember Scarface? Just feel badass, you know, just this feel, if you've ever resonated with like people in films and stuff, that, but you know, just like hold on to your badassness, guys. Be a ninja. Be a fucking ninja in life. And whatever that is, means you're ninjaing in. Yeah? Be unstoppable. Be unstoppable. Can you hear the crickets? I actually quite like the sound of it. It sounds like you're in an exotic country, you know, but I wouldn't pick up a cricket with a pincher, would you? I'll film the gecko one day if you want. I've got too many animals. I'm going off subject. I'm not supposed to be just some random podcaster giving it. I'm trying to help. And like I've said before, one of my main missions is to get people to want to do meditations from the tour, Glastonbury tour, and align with Glastonbury Avalon. I'm not going to give you too much information about Glastonbury. I'd like you to look into what it is more than a festival, and just keep being as crazy as it can be, but, you know, also good luck with whatever stages you're on, because if you know, we've all been there when we're not eating properly and we're being a right old shit face. So, you know, I'm one of the worst swearers in the world, when I actually do wonder how, because I haven't been taught to swear sometimes the way I swear, you know, sometimes, but yeah, just be graceful, be true to yourself, be true to your heart, and keep going. It will just add one more little point, is just hold steady, because like I had a huge, my last like clairvoyance experience was in the bath, and after Glastonbury Festival last year, and I had like an American voice come through the tap. Like, it's just really weird, but really, really, like, just from nowhere. I was sober. Honestly, I was just underslept. I was very sober at this point, so very underslept. And you hear a lot of noise in your ears when you're in Glastonbury Festival, because it does not stop until 6:30 in the morning, and it starts back up at 9. So you come out of there feeling very, intrinsically tuned into all sorts of noises. And I heard it come through the heart radio station as well, through the tap. And then I knew it was coming through, and it wasn't just me going crazy because of the heart radio blinked on with the tap after. So just, yeah, hopefully you're lucky enough not to experience things as crazy as that, right? Because I didn't bother sharing that with too many people, because they did, you know, they start looking like, oh my God, she's going on one again. That's enough. You don't have to share everything that you go through. Like, I probably shouldn't have just shared that at the end of this video, because it's just so off subject. Well, it's not off subject, because I'm trying to reassure people that you're not fucking crazy, okay? And neither's the rest. No, and it doesn't mean that everybody else is and you're not. It just means, and also be brave enough to go and see a healer, because I think this is where you'll get your reassurance that you're not crazy. Because if you see a healer, like a true healer, not someone, you know, it's gonna give you that assurance. That the first time I seen a healer gave me the assurance that the reason that at this point in my life, when I seen the healer, that nobody was understanding me or even noticing me almost around me, is because it was just my role to be pushed out alone at that moment. And it just came so clear just from this lady putting her hands on me. And it is weird how the world can work, and the healing world. So yeah, just keep, you know, and I'm going now. But much love, guys. And the sun is shining. It's been raining a little bit. Definitely needed a rain. Yeah. Namaste. See George. It's me man there. And I haven't told you about the story that I got him yet. And that is I nearly lost loads of family members when I got him. Honestly, just don't. It was like one of the most craziest moments of my life. But he is like, thank God, he's just like a gentleman, right? It's like a human being, mate. He made people think she's a witch. He knows. He's like one of the last biggest risks. Take risks, guys, and let time play out. All right. All right. Good luck on those risks, you know, because I hope they do work out, people. You know, yeah. God bless you all. God bless you. Whatever you want to bless yourself with, just bless yourself. And yeah. Cheers.